Hey there, comic book fans. I was just looking through a few comics on my shelf, and I ran into this one, Marvel Triple Action #1. And I was going to take a look at it, so I figured maybe I'd make a video of me taking a look at it, so you can look at it with me. Now, I don't remember this comic at all. I think someone gave it to me in the 90s. I must have looked through it then, but I don't even remember. Marvel Triple Action I remember from my childhood. I used to buy it in the 70s off the racks when it was Avengers reprints from the 60s. So I read all my 60s Avengers in Marvel Triple Action. But I never saw any of the early issues. Like, it was funny, I was just looking at this and it's got a 25-cent price tag, and I was like, this isn't from the 25-cent era. It didn't feel extra thick, but it is, and it's actually a square-bound one. But what's funny is there's usually a spine on the square-bound one with the title on them, and there is here, except it's printed on the back because it wasn't wrapped right when it's. I think it's square-bound. It just doesn't. It's not as big as their giant-size square-bound ones. So, but there's no staple on the edge, But I figured to take a look, what do we got in here? Marvel Triple Action #1's Doctor Doom, The Thing, Silver Surfer, 3-in-1 Thrills from Mighty Marvel. Oh, and it's got the square, which means it's one of the Marvel 10-year anniversary ones from, what was that, 72? Oh, look, that's odd. The comics code was printed transparently right over the Thing logo. You don't see that too often. They don't like to they never like to obscure the comics code like that. So let's see what's in it. What do we got? When Strikes the Silver Surfer? 71 it was. Part of 71. February 1972 issue. Okay, so the 10th anniversaries must have been 71 then, from 61, which is when Fantastic Four came out. So what issue is this? Does it tell us in here? Semi-annually? Sometimes it says originally presented 65. When Strikes that? I'm not sure what issue of the Fantastic Four this is, but it's some classic. Oh, there's a classic Silver Surfer shot right there. I'm pretty sure they clipped that one and used it in merchandising. So this is FF from 1965. Is this the first? No, this isn't the first. I haven't read the Galactus trilogy in a while. Oh, that's some nice Kirby artwork. And I know the Silver Surfer shows up first, and then Galactus the next later. Oh, it's Synod inking it. Sammy Rosen. Okay, so this isn't 47 or whatever then. I don't think. Up there in the Himalayas or Himalayas. I heard it's. I think it's Himalayas again. For a while it was Himalayas. Oh, is that a Kirby? It's dark. Oh yeah, that's a Kirby photo collage there. So this must be late in the Kirby Lee Surfer run. The Thing versus the Surfer. Crack. Wow, this is definitely some peak Kirby Sinnott stuff. That's another. I love the way that Kirby can stretch the human form like that. Not a lot of people are able to do that and make it look good. That Thing and Surfer punching each other. Lots of punching. Thing tries to break the surfboard, but he can't. Oh, look, we got Wyatt Wingfoot. Little Wyatt Wingfoot and Lockjaw. God, I must have read this book. I remember this panel. Unless there were other panels with like this with the Human Torch and Lockjaw. For some reason, I remember that panel. But who knows? Like, who knows with this? It's weird. Usually, there's an originally presented in somewhere. Oh, this is stapled too. Look at that. We got staples. I didn't realize that the I haven't looked at these square-bound ones in so long, because the ones I remember were only glued. Were they stapled and glued? I guess some of them were. Oh, that's another classic panel. I remember this panel. Must have been with Mr. Fantastic wrapping up the Thing, trying to stop him. Where have it? Was this reprinted in one of the Origins, one of the Fireside Origin books? Maybe the Silver Surfer Origin or something? Because this looks familiar, even though I don't remember what's in this comic. Barroom. Oh, and the Thing gets some flowers. Where's that panel? Thing gets some flowers. Enter Dr. Doom. Oh, this looks like an earlier sand. I don't recognize this at all. What's Kirby and in it still? Additional proof, if any still be needed, that this is now and forever the Marvel Age of Comics, co-starring the Wizard, the Inhumans, and the Silver Surfer. Wow, I have never seen them draw the Sandman like that, or ink the Sandman like that. Look at those little particles of sand in his hand. Wow, I don't remember ever seeing him inked like that, especially not by Sinnott. Sand everywhere. Man, I love these Kirby panels with a million figures in them. Guys rushing into a room. Just so much figure drawing there. All different poses. Always enjoyed stuff like that. So far, this is mostly the Fantastic Four in this Marvel triple action. There we go, Dr. Doom and the Silver Surfer. Another classic type panel of them all lined up. They've done that before. I like that Dr. Doom and Silver Surfer panel too. I vaguely remember a Dr. Doom Silver Surfer. So I didn't actually read a lot of these 60s Fantastic Four when I was a kid. I just wasn't a fan of the writing. They used to be around in, what was it, Marvel's Greatest Comics, which was a reprint comic, which I had some issues of, but I never bought Marvel's Greatest Comics off of the stands. But I did, like I said, for some reason I liked Stan Lee's writing in the Avengers when he was writing. I think Roy Thomas wrote a lot of the ones I was reading too. But for some reason I never liked his writing in this Fantastic Four. So I didn't read a lot of it. More Sandman. He is looking much more sandy than I'm used to him looking. Yep, don't remember this issue at all. No memory of what's going on in this Marvel triple action. But if you were a Fantastic Four fan in 1971, you probably enjoy this thoroughly. Wonder what made them make this be the Avengers and Marvel's Greatest Comics be the Fantastic Four. How they settled on that. Oh, big machinery. Ooh, I like whatever that is. Kirby robot. The pacifier. Example of my mobile, all-powerful pacifier. Dr. Doom robot. Very cool. Oh, is this the one where he steals the Silver Surfer's power? Oh, I've read the issue after this, I think. With Dr. Doom flying around on the Silver Surfer's surfboard. I think that was reprinted in one of those Fireside books. I think that's where I read it. This picture of the surfer always cracked me up. He looks like such a bug-eyed alien there. Big smile, eyes wide open, way up on his head. Oh yeah. This panel is famous. I mean, the full-played splash of him. Have a power cosmic. Crazy monster dogs. Oh, here the Inhumans show up. Nice panel down there with them looking over Black Bolt. Oh no, Black Bolt, you're so sick. Maximus the Mad. Yeah, it was definitely the issue after this that I've read, the famous one with Doctor Doom and the Power Cosmic. There's a great panel. I guess I've never read this issue before where it was reprinted. Okay, so there's 2 issues in here. Marvel Triple Action. Doctor Doom, The Thing, The Silver Surfer. How come they never mentioned the Fantastic Four? Shouldn't they have said that? Huh. And there was no originally presented in. Let's see. Marvel Triple Action involves magazine management. Their offices. Published semi-annually. All rights reserved. 72. No similarities. Nope. Copyright 1965. Is reprints courtesy of Kingdom Publishers. Sales Core. Interesting. But yeah, there we go. A nice look at some what turned out to be some classic Lee Kirby Sinnott and Sam Rosen. Who did the colors on this? I don't remember seeing that credited. Scripted, penciled. No color credited. That's interesting. When did they start crediting colorists? I thought I remember, I mean, credited the letterer but not the colorist? That seems odd. Let's see the next one. Did they credit the colorist? No. Stan and Jack, Joe Sinnott, Artie Simic, no colorist credit. I wonder when and this is when the colorist first started getting credit. Now that I remember, they said, who was it? Stan Goldberg colored the early Fantastic Fours? I think that was the name. I can't remember. But I never remember seeing his credit anywhere, so I don't know when they first started crediting colorists. Classic. And why wouldn't they credit the color? Maybe it's because the coloring got done last, so they didn't always know who the colorist was. Because I noticed in a lot of if you see original art and stuff from the 70s and the 80s, often there's a credit box with a colorist spot. With a colorist spot in the credit box, but it's blank because they didn't always know who the colorist was yet. When the letterer lettered it, it was before the coloring was done, so he didn't necessarily know who the colorist was. And then the splash page would come back to the Marvel bullpen, and they would letter the colorist's name in there later on. So this was before they even did that, and colorists got no credit. Alrighty. And now they argue whether colorists should get credit on the covers, which they do, I think, on DC and Marvel. But there you go. 3-in-1 thrills from Marvel. A little Marvel Triple Action #1.